Hi there! Yeah, that's right. Guess who? It is, of course, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch, and I'm back on the camera again one more time. Now, right now, this particular video is being recorded on Sunday, because I've had a change to my schedule, things have got a bit busy, got to fit everything in, things weren't quite tessellating, so hey presto, I'm making a video on Sunday. Now, Sunday has a very special meaning to me, as days go. Because when I was younger, I used to be a member of a sailing club. And I didn't go to church on Sunday mornings. What I'd do is I'd go sailing on a little dinghy, on a little reservoir, okay? And in the afternoon, we'd come back, we'd have a wonderful roast lunch, we'd just sit in front of the television. 2 o'clock, Sunday afternoon, BBC Two. We'd always drink tea with a few too many sugars under the excuse that we needed to get the energy back after sailing, which we probably actually didn't. And we would just let the day roll on by whilst we were watching movies all day. But now, times have changed, and here am I on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm making the movies. This is, of course, the tarot show. What we do on the tarot show is we do tarot readings. You can request a reading, okay? The way you do that is you send me an email to the email address nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, okay? Or is it going to go the other way? It's going to go like that, nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Yep. Either way, that's the email address you send your request to. You'll then be added to the rota, and I will be able to get straight on and do the reading for you. No questions about pregnancy, medical matters, childbirth, no questions about death, no questions about some of the more extreme legal situations, although some legal questions would be allowed, okay? There are just some issues which I just feel uncomfortable about reading on, but for the most part we can do nearly anything. Okay, so just send your request through, even if you're not sure. Alright, just send your request through and I might possibly do the reading for you and provide you with some wisdom. The purpose of having a tarot reading is just there to, get a bit of reflection. This is an entertainment service. Legally it's billed as an entertainment service, and that means that we can't make too many claims. But what we can do is state what people get out of their readings, okay? Namely, a sense of extra knowledge, extra wisdom, a new perspective, another way of looking at life, or maybe just a bit of comfort, okay? There's lots of reasons in which you can get a tarot reading, and sometimes it's used just as a form of counselling, and people do treat their tarot readers as counsellors, and many of us, like myself, have received some counselling training. So let's crack on with the first reading of today. Okay, Kelly Elizabeth, I'm not going to answer your question relating to giving birth, because I don't do that sort of thing, but I would answer your question about what you feel you have to do, namely this sense of, this almost karmic sense of, I've got to do what's right and I've got to help people out. Just have a quick look and see what the reading says today, shall we? Here we go. I've been shuffling like crazy, so we should get a nice, good spread of cards covering all the various different aspects of yourself and your character, basically. I'll try and keep it relatively short. There's a bit of a queue and a bit of a backlog there, okay? I think you take this a bit too far sometimes. Yes, you've got the instinct inside you to help, alright? You are being portrayed as the wish card itself, and that means that you are being portrayed as the person who provides good things for other people. But sometimes they need to fight and struggle through. So you can maybe need to change the role which you use with some people, not with everyone, but with some people, so that you can help and you can support and you can guide, alright? But also it's just a question of doing the next right thing on the emotional level, but not necessarily on the physical level. Okay, you don't want to drain yourself and put yourself back a few stages, because your success and achievement is necessary so you can do what's right in your life for yourself, so you can then do what's right for other people. You need to get your priorities right. Yourself, your family, your friends and other people. That is unfortunately the way we have to do things, otherwise we stop being able to survive. Okay, so get that right. Generally speaking, there's been a lot of darkness in your past. The energy that I've got associated with that is essentially talking about struggling to achieve something and having that taken away from you, which creates a feeling of sorrow, almost like a feeling of anxiety, or having missed out on something really, really essential. Alright, but I don't think it was really essential. I think it was important that you went through the strains to try and achieve this thing, okay, which is then giving you a bit more perspective. But I think you can get that perspective, as it were, asked about tips and times. I think the defeats you've been through has been there to teach you something. Your future signs are predominantly dominated by signs relating to commerce and commercial activity. I'm actually seeing you as being a bit of a therapist. You're not just someone who's got a desire to help everybody. You've got an ability to be able to turn your desire to help everybody into some kind of commercial venture. And to do so with wisdom, okay, to do so with happiness, and to know that you'll be doing it for the right reasons. You are still very much the star card. You're still very much providing the opportunity to get other people's wishes made. Okay? But also, I think you ought to think about your wishes and what you need and how you're going to achieve them, and to realise that without your basic stability, okay, the material world stability there, you're going to struggle to achieve what you want to for other people, let alone for yourself. So the balance has got to be struck. Okay, Sherry S., you want me to have a look at the relationship between yourself and your daughter. Okay, let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Bear with me a second, please. Right, energy between the two of you. There's still love there, but you're not seeing it or feeling it, therefore there's something obscuring it. What could be getting in the way? That's for you, that's for her. Your daughter's side of things, she's just craving a new life which she is in charge of. She feels her perspective of control has been taken away from her. I don't think that that's been taken away from her too much, because on your side of the reading, that's what we got there. Very strong signs of thinking about or dreaming about success and achievement for her, and trying to do what's right. She doesn't always understand it, and therefore it's misunderstanding which has driven a lot of the problems. That's why the moon card turned up upside down there, or reversed, as we say, okay? But the fact we've actually had the Four of Cups there, I think that nullifies that to a certain degree. So it's not a complete sort of seeing everything like an evil black light. It's more a question of misinterpretation. But there's still being that bond of love there. Now, you may feel that that bond of love has been taken away, and that's because young people can be quite cruel. And they can be quite cruel because of, nature, evolution, and all the rest of that, to try and make you look after them. And in this particular case, the reading is essentially saying that, yeah, there's still good stuff between yourself and your daughter. The feelings are still there, but you've got a daughter who's resisting, who's being difficult, trying to control you. And that's quite common. I don't think that that's going to be a major issue. Try and forgive this behaviour of her, and realise that you're still doing what's right. That's what I think. Let's have a look into the short-term, mid-term and long-term future. As I'm sure you can tell, for those of you who've seen this show before, I'm basing this loosely upon the 8-card relationship reading, because the same reading structure can be used for interpersonal relationships as well as interpersonal relationships, if you get my drift. Right. There we go. Why have we got signs of fun in the short-term future, but again being reversed? In this particular case, you're dealing with someone who is craving, or demanding, or requiring to be the centre of attention. That's what's causing the problem here. It's not to do with you. It's to do with them not being able to feel the love. Are you dealing with a depressive child? Are you dealing with someone who's actually got a feeling of separation with reality? Does your child actually need some kind of therapy or counselling? Is that really what's going on here? Because that could well be the case, and if that is the case, maybe you need to drive a therapeutic message or a self-developmental message into the relationship you've got with her. Not to say that this is what you have to do, but this is what I've done in the past, and I found it quite interesting, and leaving it at that, okay? Dropping little ideas in the air and seeing whether she sort of reaches out and takes them. But generally speaking, the relationship between yourself and your daughter is not looking bad. It's actually looking quite good. But you're dealing with a young person, and I think you just need to be tolerant, which can be very, very difficult, because they've all got very special needs, haven't they? Right, on with the next one. Okay, Brenda, you want me to read upon your relationship with Robert? Oh, by the way, to the person who sent me the message earlier on to say thank you, I'm just glad I was able to help. Okay, but Brenda, let's have a look at your relationship with Robert. Bear with me a second, please. See basically what's coming through here. Short-term, mid-term, long-term future, 8-card relationship reading. You know the score, you've seen it before. Okay. Is it going somewhere? Yes, but is it going there quickly? No. It's going there very slowly indeed. It's more a question, or indeed a feeling of stagnation has sort of like settled upon what you've got right now. Let's counterbalance one of the cards on his side of things with one of the cards in the short-term future. In fact, I'll show you the cards. Right, now this is what I mean, okay? Because one of the cards on his side of things... Okay, you can't read that anymore because it's all rather worn out. That means too much emotion, slow progress, like walking through treacle, okay? Short-term future signs, indolence, speaking essentially of slow progress, knowing what's the next right thing to do but not getting around to doing it. So you've got him feeling that he can't really move further forward despite the fact that the emotions are good, the action's bad, okay? Slow progress. And knowing what's right and not being able to do it. That's basically what's going on there in the short term. So the good news is he's sticking around. Okay, the energy between the two of you, the emotions, very happy, okay? On your side of things, you're the action person. You want to see some real, real movement going on here. But he's not providing it right now. That's making you feel even more frustrated. That's the reason why you wanted me to do the reading today. You've got more frustration coming up. Unfortunately, that's the way things are right now, okay? More frustration will come first prior to anything good happening. But the progression that I'm seeing is that there'll be like a jerking moment. So just, something is happening there. Just changing the flow, changing the dynamic somehow to make him want to actually do something constructive. And then moving further on down the line from there, we have the love signs coming in. What is it that could be causing change on his side of things? Is he doing what's right and getting counselling therapy? Is he learning more about how to think? Has something happened which has helped him deal with an issue from the past? Has he taken a bit of time out to help do some growth? It's difficult to say. But the feeling is there's love signs at the end of it. So it is going somewhere, but it's going there slowly. And I think what you need to do is to appraise his progress with the passage of time and just see how he goes. I can't give you a clear-cut yes-no answer here, okay? You're just going to have to make up your mind as he progresses. But on the other hand, emotionally speaking, the energy of the spread is actually quite nice. And I still see this as being a very positive reading, taking into account what I'm seeing here. And what I'm seeing here is love. I'm just not seeing that much in the way of action within the next 6 months. Okay, on with the next one. Okay, Jennifer, you've just been on set for a rather well-known TV show. And I envy you something crazy for it. Oh. But you want to see whether the director's going to have you back to do more basically supporting artwork. Let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming on through here, because essentially, don't you just have to carry on building bonds with your agent to make sure your agent will actually carry on promoting you? Because I think that's probably a very good way of doing things. Make sure you're strong with the agents, and the agent will actually then do some of the work for you, provided, of course, you maintain the positivity when dealing with them. Okay? Let's have a quick look and see what's coming through. Do we have signs of success? Standard 4-card outcome reading. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to have to say a cautious yes, because we have, again, positivity. I've shuffled very thoroughly, but again, the star has come out. Maybe we've got a star day today, okay? The energy that the reading is giving me is saying that, yes, that there is money which is going to come through, okay? Those are the two signs we've got within the reading, which I think is very positive. But we've also got signs of failure and disappointments. Now, essentially, why would we have both of those extreme messages? Okay, the one incredibly positive and the one incredibly negative happening at the same time when I'm just answering a simple, question which could be answered with a yes or no answer. Something about this is conditional. It makes me feel that you've got to do something you may not necessarily want to do to get to where you want to go. Are you with me? Okay. You'll have to buckle under, you'll have to do something which they will want you to do for their own benefits, be that financial benefit, be that in terms of certain tasks which you have to achieve because it will go well with the TV show and stuff like that. I think that your career path is going to be a little jaggedy. The work is going to be erratic. So what you'll need to do, according to what I'm seeing here, would be to have some extra work to help you in the time when you're not getting any work as an extra. If you haven't got that already sorted out, that's something you need to research and something you need to work with. Big time. Okay, because it's still going to be erratic for a time prior to the success and achievement. I mean, the wealth signs are there at the end of the spread, suggesting that your acting career could actually become a real career, not just a bit of work which is thrown your way here and there. Yes, I feel that director is going to accept you for further roles. Are they going to accept you just like straight away? Difficult to say. Okay, that's difficult to say. But the reading is coming through with a sense of success and achievement coming as a result of you connecting with this director. It's not every day that I get a chance to connect with someone who's quite as famous as yourself. Remy D07. Okay, you want to make sure your next relationship is going to come soon. Let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading says about that. Bear with me, 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Here we go. Right. Well, if it wasn't, I don't think we'll be getting the Lover's card coming out within your short-term future part of the spread, will we? No. I mean, essentially, the Hanged Man is your first card, and I think that can speak about a bit of a cold feeling. So maybe you're just going to think, oh, I'm going to be all alone for just another couple of weeks. And then after that, bam, something interesting happens, a feeling of you taking more responsibility, being driven towards a connection of love between yourself and somebody else, which feels quite interesting and quite positive. Then the progression further on from that, passion, something of an intellectual nature bonding you, but also learning from hard times. And I think that's referring to, let me try and rephrase that. There's a Saturnian message. If you look at the top of the card, a bit of a red Saturn-like sign, which you might or might not be able to see. A bit like the astrological sign of Saturn, if you get my drift, okay? And that means learning from mistakes or pains or problems or the school of hard knocks and all the rest of it. I think that's a reflection back to what you've already been. And being in a position whereby you're feeling so much happier, you're actually capable of reflecting back on the past properly. Okay. Now, long-term progression. The next relationship you're going to get is one you're going to have to work out quite hard, but it's also one which is going to be around to stay, I believe, and you will be able to keep it in control. This year could be the one. January SE. Right, let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading says about this. Obviously, you want to connect with this individual. You'd like to make sure it's going to happen, everything's going to happen okay. Let's have a quick look and see basically what is coming through. 8-card relationship reading. Here we go. Stability signs, bam, it's really just hit me straight out. Earth signs, straight there. Alright, forces between the two of you. Highly romantic. And also a sense of something new being revealed. Something new being revealed or exposed to you. Which would mean some communication suggesting something good. So romance, a sense of new things exposed. This is an individual who's going to be around for some time. But your question was, what would happen if you communicate to him? Okay, what would actually happen if you communicate to him? Well, what would happen is that things will start to get romantic, and there's the promise of stability. Okay, projection, short-term, mid-term, long-term, here we go. I say this really is rather curious. Because we've got signs relating to fun and recreation for your short-term future, which I think is really rather positive, because, that's basically what you're looking for. We've got signs relating to more earth-related stability, okay? We've got signs related to wisdom. This is an important character for you. This is someone who's got a lot to say, which you're going to enjoy and get some kind of positive reflection from. I would say be careful not to build the relationship based upon therapy. When you get into a relationship with someone who's basically healing you, once the healing is done, the relationship comes to an end. Now, do you want the relationship or do you want the healing? I think that's something you have to ask yourself sometimes. Okay, little devil, you want me to see what's he's, what he wants to change and where this is going to go. Let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming through here for you. Bear with me a second, please. One step at a time. Okay, the first thing he seems to want to change is himself. The first negative signs we've got are essentially on his side of the reading, with a sense of interference. Something in his background is holding him back. There's like a blockage or an obstacle which is stopping him from doing what is essentially right. He feels a bit of emotional negativity towards the relationship, not because you've done anything wrong, and definitely not because he doesn't love you. He does, okay? But because of this feeling of restriction and too much to do. It's like there's this weight of extra things he's got to get done or he's got to achieve somehow, and that's really screwing him up. So taking action to try and sort out things so that he can provide you with a nice surprise is coming through to me very strongly indeed. Okay, signs on your side of the reading. This is where we get the second negative sign, because I think that you're afraid of that. You're afraid of that, okay? It's the card of failure. But that's what you're afraid of, not what's actually there. But you've also got sufficient nurturing, loving energy which you feel could actually overcome the difficulties. It's like you're not going to give up hope with this individual. You're not going to give up hope there at all. Okay, are you with me? Right, progression, short term, mid term, long term. Right, I say. Okay, the energy we've got here. Yeah, he's got to pull himself out of the doldrums in the short-term future. There is a sense of change there, but also forgiveness. I don't think he's aware of quite how much damage he's done, and that's something which can't really be remedied straight away, can it now? No. His awareness will change once he's been able to create himself the feeling of emotional freedom that he needs to be able to allow the progression to occur. Progress in the future, very passionate, very full of being able to tell other people about how you got to where you got to, okay? How you actually got there. That means you're in the right place at the right time, you've managed to achieve well, you're doing very well for yourselves, but there were mistakes made which you've had to get over. I think that's on both sides of things, and you won't understand precisely what that's all about until such time as you get there, okay? So, think about that, worry about that when the time comes. But generally speaking, it's actually looking quite interesting, really. If we take into account the bigger picture, you've got progress, but I think you need to forgive yourselves both ways. Hello, Lock Ho. You're seeking an individual, you want to make sure the connection is going to grow and develop in the right way. Okay, let's just have a quick peek and see basically what the reading says. Bear with me a second, please. Here we go. Nice and gentle, one step at a time. Love is in the air in a lot of the readings we're doing, aren't they? Or isn't it? I mean, we're not necessarily focusing predominantly on career. It's mainly erring towards the romantic side of things. And a romantic gesture is what this reading is talking about. The forces between the two of you is not yet talking about a pure and perfect loving connection. What it's talking about is a conflict, but also communication of a certain type which is going to enable you to generate something good. The energy this person's giving off is that of conflict, yes, but it's also that of something beneficial, something loving, something healing, something warm, especially on their side of things, with a sense of affection, tranquility, and also some form of extra benefits which is going to happen further on down the line without the shadow of a doubt. It is looking okay. Because the feelings are there, the behavior, you're very different people. Whoever this person is, you're very different people. You haven't connected yet. There's not that much in the way of signs relating to familiarity and consistency, and there's none of that sort of like, heavy, leaden, earth-orientated, powerful, here we are, stable, and it's going to go on forever. We just don't have that feeling here. It's all air signs and water signs. With a bit of fire thrown in for good measure. There's no earth signs there at all. You're not there yet. You're not at the position of stability. But these signs have come out in this order, especially with the Two of Cups on your side of things, which you should find very sexy indeed. And it's like it's explaining to me this is the portents, okay? This is the portent, and you've got to reach out and you've got to grab it when the opportunity is there. You're coming through to me as someone who's grown in your awareness and your wisdom rather a lot. And things are looking more interesting with the passage of time, at least I believe that they will be anyway. Midterm future signs, that's the best we've got for you, because that's talking about the new beginning. That's within this year, yes, okay? That's the ultimate new beginning, that's the Magician card, you know what that should signify. Yes, there's a healing aspect there, but that's also, like you've done the studying, now you can go and do the career sort of thing. That's the kind of message which the Magician card symbolizes. But in this particular case, okay, you've done the studying as far as being in a relationship or what it means to be in a relationship. You're going to come across this individual who's very different to you in terms of character and behavior, but has the right feelings and is going to find it difficult to overcome, like depression, negativity, I don't know, but in fact there aren't that many signs relating to depression and negativity, so it can't be that. They've got to get over something which is creating a feeling of difference. But this midterm future, 3 to 6 months time down the line from now, is giving you signs relating to new beginnings in accordance with the meaning of your question. And your question is about love with this individual. You're with me so far, okay? This is the way it's panning out, it's the way it's growing and developing, which is highly romantic and romanticized when we consider the way things could actually be going. Very long-term future signs, okay? That can be interpreted in a very soulmatey way by some people. You'll have to see how it goes. There's always going to be lots of complex politics during the shorter term future. That was your shorter term future card, okay? So essentially what that's talking about is that's politics. There is love there. The color green is very Venusuvial. The energy there is talking about progress, but challenges. Marquita, let's have a quick look. You want to see where you're going in your love life? Okay, let's have a quick look. Well, you're going to have one. Okay, you're actually one of these lucky people who's actually going to have one, which I think is like very good for you, just what you're looking for, basically. And I think you're going to feel so happy it's going to almost be like being a child all over again, because we've got signs of the most dramatic quality of change that you could look for. Sometimes people ask about, what's going to happen in my love life, when they think that there's nothing going to happen in their love life. Okay, are you with me? So, if I'm seeing that quality of progress, the Death card is like the dramatic transformation. If this is to do with attitudes, it will be a complete change of personality and character, brought about by new revelations as to what the individual is really about. I've had a fair few moments of that myself, if you get my drift. Okay? But the progression is quite interesting. And further on down the line, we have more signs relating to more responsibility. We have the Lovers card coming out again today. Maybe spring is in the air in more ways than one for a lot of people, okay? Including for yourself. The Death card and the Lovers. The Lovers card speaks of new responsibilities. The Death card talks about transformation. And the Six of Cups, I interpret as youthful, romantic, physical pleasure, if you get my drift. Okay, in accordance with the energy of the question, in accordance with the energy of the card. Change which allows you to have that in your life. That's my message for you today. Alright, so that's all we're going to do for the moment. Keep your requests coming in. Okay, the email address is nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, and send me through an email with your message, ideally your first name and date of birth, or the name you wish to go by on the internet. Some people want to maintain anonymity, so they might say, hey, yeah, you can call me Fred Flintstone on the Tarot Show, and I would understand it, or you can call me Crystal Eye, or Air Moon, or something like that, okay? And I will be happy to work with whatever nickname you want to go by, within reason, if it's not like totally rude, if you get my drift, because like this is still a family show. We can't have too much in the way of language. if you get my drift. Okay, I have used bad language on the internet before. I'm trying to cut that down bit by bit, but on this particular channel, it's a little bit more family orientated, so essentially I've got to think about that. Alright, so what more can I say? A tarot reading is an entertainment service, okay, legally billed as an entertainment service, which means that people use it for to get a new perspective. People use it like a form of counseling therapy. People just use it just to get some reflection, or it's that moment in the day, week, month, or year when they can just chill out, okay, get some perspective. It's all about, you know, when you get on the internet or telephone to me, it's all about you, okay. It's that moment when it's all about you. For those of you who's asked about the pictures on the wall there, okay, those are rather old Catholic representations of the wedding at Cana, which I really rather like because they're good. They're just printouts, but they were given to me by a good friend of mine. I put them up there just to reflect for my own sort of like religious and spiritual reasons. Okay, looking forward to having your emails coming through. Speak to you in a while.